Listen up, squad. Somewhere on this platform right now, somebody is promising a method that spots scams with 100% accuracy. That person is selling you something, and by the end of this briefing, you'll be able to prove it. 5 reads. Any token. Under 15 minutes before $1 of yours moves. Last briefing we mapped the trenches 7 levels down, bodies on every floor. Today, the one skill that works on every level of that map, reading the ground before you put weight on it. I'll run every read by hand. I'll show you what each one catches and what it can't, because that last part is the difference between a scout and a salesman. Fall in. First, why read it all? Why not just pick winners? Because the ground is mostly graves, squad. 20 million tokens have hit the market since 2021. More than half are already dead. And the dying is fast. Most new tokens record their last trade the same day they're born. That's not fear talk. That's a terrain report, and you don't cross terrain like that on Vibes. Now hold this number. Near $6 billion lost to rug pulls in one stretch of 2025, and 92% of it was one project. Not a joke coin. A polished operation, clean site, institutional story, a stage at the conferences. Write the doctrine down. Polish is not proof. A scam's front costs money because fronts work, so we don't read the paint. We read the ground under it. 5 reads in the order I run them. Read 1. The ledger. Who owns the ground you're about to stand on? Every token has a holders list, public timestamp, nobody can hide it. You're reading for one thing first, concentration. If a handful of wallets holds a fat slice of the supply, then a handful of strangers controls your exit. The chart doesn't matter, the chart is what they allow it to look like. And don't stop at the single biggest wallet, read the top 10 as a block. 10 wallets holding half the supply is the same trap as one wallet holding half, wearing better camouflage. While you're in there, find the team's own allocation, how much they kept, and whether it's locked down or sitting loose in a hot wallet with the engine running. Then the swarm tell, dozens of fresh wallets born the same week, all holding the same bag. That's not a community, squad, that's one operator wearing 40 masks. What this red costs you 2 minutes. What it can't tell you, intent. Teams lock tokens. Market makers hold inventory. Concentration isn't a verdict, it's a flag. Flag stack. Keep count. Read 2. The exits. In the old world, you check the fire exits before the show starts. Out here, the exit is liquidity, the pool that lets you leave. 3 questions. 1. Is there enough depth that selling won't crater the price? A thin pool means you're not invested, you're trapped with extra steps. Rough field rule. Hold the pool up against the token's claimed market size. A big ticker standing on a puddle of real liquidity is a stage set. The number on the sign has no building behind it. 2. Is the liquidity locked, and for how long? Unlocked liquidity means the builders can pull the floor any hour they choose. And a 30-day lock is not a commitment, squad. It's a countdown. 3. Who holds the pool? If the team holds the exit, the team owns your exit. And the bodies on this read are not rare. A blockchain surveillance firm examined 388,000 pools on one high-speed chain. Roughly 9 in 10 showed the liquidity-yank pattern. 9 in 10. The exit is the scam's favorite door because it's the one you need and the one they built. Run this red twice on anything young, day 1, then day 7. An exit that shrinks while the price holds steady is somebody easing toward the door with a smile on. Read 3. The contract, the token's paperwork, the code that decides what the builders can still do to you. You are not auditing it line by line. You're checking 3 switches, and any public checker will read them out loud. Switch 1, the mint. If minting is still open, the supply is not finite, the printer never left their hands. Switch 2, the freeze. Some contracts carry a lock that can stop wallets from selling. Their door stays open. Yours doesn't. Switch 3, the toll. A sell tax that can be raised after you're in, a door that welcomes you through, then bills you to leave. One nuance before the ugly part, because the lazy read gets it wrong. Ownership renounced is not a halo. Renounced means nobody can change the rules anymore, including to fix them. If the rules were rigged at birth, Renouncing just welds the trap shut. And the ugliest pattern has a name you've heard, the honeypot. Anyone can buy, only they can sell. You find out at the exit. How common is manufactured theft? One surveillance outfit's count. 8% of all tokens on the biggest smart contract chain, 12% on its busiest rival, were programmed to rug from birth. Not mismanaged, squad, manufactured. Now stop. Look at what you just did, squad, ledger, exits, contract, 3 reads by hand inside 15 minutes. Everything I just made you do, the forge runs in 1 scan, same checks, 1 verdict, second. That's the safety layer, that's why it exists. The ones who survive out here aren't smarter, they're scanned. But hold the discipline because this matters. The machine reads the chain. Nobody reads the humans for you. 2 reads left and they're yours alone. Read 4, the humans. Who built this and can anything reach them if they run? Careful here because the lazy version of this read is wrong twice. Doxed is not automatically safe. Anonymous is not automatically a scam. Some legends shipped anonymous. But a new team with no faces, no history, and no verifiable stake. That's a team that costs nothing to abandon. So run the history. What did they build before and how did it end? Builders leave trails the same way tokens do, dead links, deleted handles, a graveyard of revolutionary projects that each lasted 1 season. A team's last project is the most honest white paper they will ever hand you. Then read the tell that beats every disguise, the promise pattern. Guaranteed returns, fixed yield with no source, can't lose. The moment somebody promises certainty in a market built on risk, the research is over, you leave. Remember the $6 billion year. The project behind most of it had everything this read looks for on the surface, the site, the stage, the story. What a front can't fake forever is behavior. Your boy the Degen vouched for 3 teams this quarter, by the way. 2 of the links are already dead. He's still explaining. Read 5, the tape. The last fake is the crowd itself. Volume is the first thing your eye trusts. Look how many people are trading this. So volume is exactly what gets painted. Academic researchers put a number on it. On lightly regulated venues, more than 70% of reported trading volume fits the wash trading pattern, the same money on both sides of the trade, round and round, painting a crowd that isn't there. On decentralized pools, chain analysts flagged $2.57 billion of suspected wash volume in a single year. So sanity check the tape. Volume that towers over the holder count. Candles with no crowd behind them. A chart that never breathes. Here's the field ratio. When daily volume runs at many multiples of the entire holder base, ask who exactly is doing all that trading. 1,000 holders don't print 100 million in turnover without machinery behind the curtain. Real markets stumble, squad. Painted ones perform. If the tape looks perfect, assume it's a performance and you were not sold a ticket. You are the ticket. Debrief, 5 reads. Ledger, exits, contract, humans, tape. 10 minutes, maybe 15 before a single dollar moves. So what does a clean sheet buy you? Hear this exactly because it's the part nobody ranking above this video will say. A clean read is not a green light. It's the absence of a red one. No read, mine, yours, or any machine's gives certainty. Anyone selling you 100% is selling you. There's the proof I promised. What the reads actually buy is odds, flags found before the money moved instead of after. So standing orders. Order 1, every flag shrinks the stake. 1 flag size down, 2 flags size to 0. And a stack of flags on a token you already hold is not a debate, squad, it's an evacuation order. The reads work after you buy too. Most people never look again. The wasteland loves those people. Order 2, no read, no ride. The day you skip the 15 minutes is the day the wasteland collects. Order 3, certainty is the loudest flag of all. The pitch that can't lose is the read that already failed. Data, never advice, squad. Where you stand is your call. Whether you looked first, that's mine. Next briefing gets dealt at the war table, the board decides, and the squad hears it first. Until then, the 5 reads work on every level of the map, every ticker, every cycle. The full intel lives on the DeFi Warlord Forge. That's the briefing, squad. Read before you touch out there. Subscribe, turn bell notifications on. Join our DeFi Warlord's home base, link in the description. And salute to the squad.